What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and welcome to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over social media at GBP Daily, and if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. It is Friday, December 13th. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope your week has been great, and let's hope our weekend will be even greater. We've got a big-time matchup on Sunday Night Football, Packers-Seahawks, Lumen Field in Seattle. The Packers have not been able to beat a good football team, in my opinion, for most of this season. They've got a chance to do so Sunday night in the NFC West, leading Seahawks, who sit right now at 8-5. And we're also getting healthy at just the right time as well. Everybody on the Packers active roster practiced yesterday, besides Javon Bullard. Javon Bullard had an ankle injury that we all are well aware of at this point. He suffered that during the Lions game last Thursday night, and as reported, he was not able to put any weight on that whatsoever as he left the locker room in crutches. So coach did consider him week to week when he was talking about it the other day. So we'll just have to wait and see. He's definitely not playing this weekend. We'll see how he goes. We'll see how he fares in practice next week for his availability as we creep up towards the playoffs here in just a few weeks. Luke Musgrave, who is now eligible to return from IR, was practicing yesterday. Jair was practicing all week. Jair, Evan Williams, Romeo Doubs, Edgerrin Cooper, all practicing. Even better news is Jair has no injury designation, and he has been a full participant at practice this week. So I fully expect him to be able to play on Sunday night. Evan Williams is still in concussion protocol, but he was also a full participant in yesterday's practice. Romeo Doubs is also still in concussion protocol, which is somewhat concerning since he's been in that for a few weeks now. But something to monitor regarding Romeo Doubs this weekend leading up to the game. And hopefully he's able to go, but we'll have to wait and see. We had a stinker last night on Thursday Night Football. Rams and 49ers game was pretty sluggish. It's just the game was, 12-6 or something like that. The main headline from that game was former Packer Devondre Campbell walking off the field and telling the coaching staff that he did not want to play. So, pretty bizarre, if you ask me. He actually walked into the locker room during the fourth quarter and just left. So, he trashed us on his way out after playing poorly shortly after signing him to a big-time contract, and now he's pulling the ultimate trash move and walking out on his teammates. It's unfortunate that we did sign him to that big contract only for him to fall off hard, but I'm so glad he is not on our team anymore. And I think 49ers fans will feel the same way when he's released, most likely this upcoming weekend or next week. Without further ado, let's hop into the comment section here. And as you guys know, the Nicolet Law hotline is now live. If you want to join the show, talk some Packers with me, give me a call. Number is on the screen, 319-242-2332. I'm taking your calls right now. Hop on the phone lines here and join the show. I'd love to hear from you. My man Phil's in the chat. You and the crazy times. Phil, I was referencing Romeo Doubs being on concussion protocol for a couple weeks, which is true. Get out of here, Phil. I'm kidding. Stay in here. Devondre Campbell is who we knew he was and now blacklisted. Good. Yeah, there's no shot that any team is going to take a chance with him, not only because of what he did last night walking off the field in the middle of the game, but just by his performance. He's not been good this year. He was terrible for us right after signing him to that 5-year, $55 million contract, if I do remember correctly. Call Nicolet Law on Campbell stealing bank from Green Bay and San Francisco. Nicolet Law is an injury law firm, Phil. Otherwise, I would But yeah, there's no way a team is going to sign him. And I bet he's cut this weekend or next week. Maybe he calls it a career. Who knows? I'm sure that's kind of what went through his mind as he was walking off the field. He's probably thinking, I'm done. I'm done. And yeah, I think he's going to be done whether he wants to or not. Yeah, he trashed us pretty good. Said he was misused in our defense. At the end of the day, he just wasn't very good. So had that great year though. Was an All-Pro, which is insane. That's the most impressive thing to me is that practice squad guy and a guy who barely played for the Falcons comes over to Green Bay and has an All-Pro year. That's insane. Out of nowhere. And then, gets signed to a big-time contract, doesn't play very well afterwards. We let him go, and now he's with San Fran, and he has not been doing good all year long, and then he pulls that last night. And I think he's done. So, Luke, greetings from Germany. Greetings, my man. Appreciate you hopping in the chat. My man, Chris Salter's in the house. Celebrity appearance. What's going on, Chris? Hope your week is going well. I saw you were at the Lions game on Thursday night. Wish we could have pulled off the win for you. But nonetheless, hope you had a good time. And also, I had seen Tom Grassi's narrating the Lambeau Leap little video on the NFL Films account. And Chris, you were on there quite a bit during that Brandon McManus celebration. So that was fun to see. Appreciate you hopping in, Chris. Hope you're doing well, my man. Jesse, score predictions for Sunday night, and Erica, what's your score predictions for the game? Everybody wants to know my predictions, but you guys all know I have not picked the Packers to lose for quite some time. But I will say I am 9-4 on the year, so that's a winning record as far as pick'ems go. But I said it yesterday, and I'm sticking with it. Packers 36, Seahawks 23. I think our offense can hopefully start off on the right foot compared to last week's slow start. And with Jair back, most likely, and hopefully Evan Williams, keeping them at 23 sounds pretty good to me. So I will say this. I have not watched a lot of Seahawks football this year. I've been trying to get a grip on this team throughout this week. But as far as actually watching their games this year, I will admit I have not seen very much of their games this year, though. Still, Packers 36, Seahawks 23. Look it. I'll take that. What else we got? Thank you, Jesse, for hopping in the chat. Thank you, Erica, for the question. Hope you guys have a great Friday and weekend. Luke, game versus Seahawks is going to be tough for me Monday, 2:20 a.m. Ooh, that is a tough one. Yikes. 2:20 a.m. So I got a question. Are you going to stay up until 2:20 and then wake up and watch? Or are you going to hit the hay, around 8, 9 o'clock and set the alarm? I think if it was me personally, I would probably – the smart thing to do is probably to get some sleep beforehand, wake up, watch the game, and then maybe get to bed a little bit after for a couple hours. Well, I guess that makes it like 6 o'clock once it's over, so probably not for you. So I guess you're going to have to go to bed before the game if you do have to indeed get up for work on Monday morning. If it were me, though, I'd be afraid that I would miss my alarm. I've had nightmares before where I'm sleeping and I sleep in a crazy amount. Games for me are at noon, 3, 3:30, and then 7:20 for night games. I've had nightmares before where I've missed my alarm or something and wake up and it's the fourth quarter, and those are some pretty bad nightmares. So I cannot imagine missing the game live. I can't remember the last time I've had to miss the game live, really. There hasn't really been anything crazy that, at the very least, I've been able to watch on my phone, at the very least. But, if I were you, I'd hit the hay around 8, 9 o'clock, set the alarm for 1:30, 1:45, 2:15, just in case. And, I'd have some backup plans in there, a couple accountability buddies making sure I'm up before the game starts. That is for sure. Luke, no, I'm going to sleep at 10 p.m. Then we'll watch the game from 2:20 to 5:30 a.m. and then going to bed from 5:30 to 7 a.m. School is going to be hard the next day. Oh, well, if it's just school you got to go to, just don't go. I mean, it's as simple as that. Luke, that's a pretty good schedule there. I would have a problem going to sleep at 5:30 for sure. Shortly after the game, most definitely, I'd probably have to stay up until school. Excuse me. But man, 2:20 a.m. Hopefully we can get a win for you, so it's worth it, right? Just remember, we've only got 17 guaranteed games every year. You multiply that by how many years you think you're going to live, and there's only a certain amount of Packer games that you are guaranteed to have. And that's what I tell my wife's on the same page with me, and that's what we tell, some family members that don't take that into consideration. All my family, thankfully, and so does hers, understand that we are very adamant about watching the game. So even if we do have to go somewhere, it's on. So that is great. That is the great thing about mine and her families is it's always on if there's something going on that we got to be at. So I don't got to worry about that. I can't even think of a time where I've had to miss a game. I guess I can actually. The Packers-Bears game 2 years ago when we had to win out to make the playoffs, and we did win out all the way up until the Lions game and then lost, of course, Rodgers and Cobb's last game. But that Bears game a couple weeks prior, I was in an airplane, and I bought the Wi-Fi, but it just wasn't working as far as actually watching the game. I was getting updates and watching it on the Gamecast or whatever on ESPN and keeping up on Twitter. But as far as actually watching that game, I missed the first half, and that was a big deal. So wasn't a very happy camper, that is for sure. But thankfully, that's the only thing that I can really think of was being up in the air where I couldn't watch the game. So if I don't hear my alarm, I put an extra alarm on at 5:30 and watch the whole game on Game Pass on recap. Luke, shoot me your number on Instagram DMs, and I'll make sure to be calling you from 1 to 2 a.m. Your time, and make sure you're up. So hope you get up, no problem, and hope you can get some sleep afterwards before you got to head to school. Thanks for hopping in the chat, my man. Appreciate you. What else we got? Travis, favorite piece of memorabilia you have? Great question, Travis. I've talked about it on the show many times, but all the things that I own that are signed by players, I've gotten signed myself. So I look at my collection more as a personal museum, I guess, if you will, of my Packers fandom throughout the years. The first item I ever owned was a kid-size Packers hat that Ray Nitschke signed. My dad took my sister and I with him to meet Ray Nitschke back in 1997. And that was one of the items he signed for us that day. My uncle then kind of rekindled that in-person autograph thing for me at the Donald Driver softball game back in the day when Donald signed my jersey I had there of his. And ever since, I've just kept collecting things that I've gotten signed myself. So I do collect other stuff. Unsigned, unique Packers items, just random stuff. There's a Packers cooler over there, bobbleheads, that kind of stuff. Literally anything I find interesting that is Packers related, I'll collect it. But as far as signed stuff goes, I stick to things that I've gotten signed in person myself. It sort of adds a story to each piece. So, but my favorite piece, I'll have to go with the Ray Nitschke hat, the first item, and it being Ray Nitschke, and it, also the story behind, my dad taking me there, all that. That's definitely my favorite piece. So thank you, Travis, for the question. I love talking about that kind of stuff. Let's see here. My man B-Stack in the house. Any good places to watch an away game in Green Bay? Driving in from out of town Sunday. I can't speak from experience. I've never watched an away game in Green Bay before. I guess if I would have to pick, stadium view is definitely a pretty wild environment. That's pretty fun on game days. That's pretty fun, on game weekends. I would imagine that it's pretty fun for away games. All the bars there around Lambeau Field get after it pretty good. Anduzzi's, the bar, which is right there. I'd probably choose stadium view if I were watching an away game in Green Bay. So, B-Stack, hope you have a good time this weekend in Green Bay. I'm jealous, whether it's a game there or not. Somebody's in Green Bay. I'm jealous. Hopefully, I'll get back up there in Week 18 against the Bears. That's kind of the next game I'm eyeing, since we probably won't have a home. We definitely won't have we definitely are not going to have a guaranteed home playoff game. And there needs to be a lot of upsets, and the Packers need to keep winning for there to be a home playoff game. Man, excuse my yawns. Phil, I was up at 4 this morning, got the workout in. You know the drill. Getting after it. What else we got? Durant, who's getting picks? X for sure, of course. I'm going to say we have 2 picks. One from Xavier McKinney, and let's go another one from Keyshawn Nixon. He had one last week. Let's go Keyshawn again. B-Stacks, I'll check it out. Thank you. Absolutely. Hope you have a great time. What else we got? The best games, Luke. The best games for me are the 1 p.m. Eastern time games. It's 7 p.m. in Germany then. The 4 o'clock, 4:25 games are at 10 or 10:25. And then, it's 2 a.m. Yeah, that would be tough. I'm getting old, and I think 7:20 games are late. And we've had 4 straight of them. So you've been getting after it, Luke, these last 3 games, or last 2 games, and then these upcoming the next 2 games, all night games. And for you, that's what, 2:20 in the morning? That's insane. So shout out to you, Luke. I hope the Packers play in Berlin next year. It's my hometown. It would be a heck of an experience to see my favorite team in my city. That would be awesome. I hope that happens for you, my man. Jay Swag, who on the team will be future Hall of Famers? Ooh, that's a good one. Hopefully Jordan Love. Josh Jacobs, if he keeps it up. Man. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm stumped. I think Jair's been hurt too much. Although he's great, if he can kind of revitalize his second half of his career to have no injuries. He plays great when he's on the field for sure, but he hasn't been on the field as much over the past couple seasons. Right around 50%. So missed a little bit too much time, at least as of late, to build up that Hall of Fame resume. Kenny Clark, maybe? Gosh, I don't know. I don't even think Kenny Clark would be on there. So maybe Zach Tom. He's been balling out. If he can have a career like he's had, if he can play the rest of his career like he has this season especially, he might creep up into that conversation. But hopefully Jordan Love. That's going off nothing but hope. Josh Jacobs, though, has had an awesome career. If he can kind of continue on this path for a few seasons, he might be a name that could be in that conversation. So, Jay Sweat or Mark, thanks for hopping in the chat, my man. Excuse me. Armin, favorite spot in Green Bay? What's going on, Armin? Not sure if you're referencing like my favorite spot to eat or just to go to, but I will say the first spot that came to mind is Card and Coin. I go there every single time I'm in Green Bay. They've got the most random Packer items in there. And every time I do go in there, I don't leave empty-handed. That's for sure. Let's see if there's anything around here that I've gotten. Let's see. Well, here we go. Like this guy right here. This random, Reggie White guy. Kind of a little unique item. And yeah, Card and Coin is littered with them. So if you're into collecting autograph stuff, they've got that too. helmets, jerseys, pictures. They've got tons of Packers mugs, pint glasses, old school stuff. I'll always continue to stop by there because I know I'll find something that I've never seen before. So, yeah, Card and Coin in Green Bay. It is like a quarter of a mile from Lambeau Field, just down the road from Lodge Kohler. So check it out. It's a thrift shop, or not a thrift shop, but it's like a pawn shop. They've got coins, of course, and they've got football cards, all that kind of stuff. Stop in a Card and Coin. You'll find something that you've never seen before. I can guarantee you that. So, all right, let's get the fact of the day rolling, shall we? This one's a good one. We were just talking about him not too long ago.
For your Green Bay Packers fact of the day. Brought to you by TickPick. TickPick guarantees to have the lowest prices on Packers tickets. If you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, TickPick will give you 110% of your money back. If you want $20 off your next ticket order, use code Packers20 at checkout. That's Packers20. This promo code can only be used in the app, so make sure to download the TickPick app today.
All right, your fact of the day, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs leads the NFL in yards between the tackles this year with 731. Meanwhile, the Seahawks have given up 5 yards per carry between the tackles, which is second most among NFL teams this season. So, big game from Josh Jacobs incoming, I think, and I hope. Got him on fantasy, so fingers crossed. One more time, Josh Jacobs leads the NFL in yards between the tackles this year with 731. Meanwhile, the Seahawks have allowed 5 yards per carry between the tackles, which is second most among NFL teams this year. So shout out to Josh Jacobs for getting the job done in between the tackles so far this year, leading the way with 731 yards. And shout out to TickPick for partnering up with myself. I've used them. Used them for the Packers-Cardinals game. On October 13th, Phil, used them for the Packers-Dolphins game on Thanksgiving night. They put their money where their mouth is. They guarantee the cheapest Packers tickets on the market. And if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, they will give you 110% of your money back. Download the TickPick app. Use the code Packers20 for $20 off of your ticket order. What else we got, Phil? Watch out for Friday the 13th. Second fact of the day. You believe in that stuff, Phil? It's okay if you do. I'm not judging. I don't put too much solace into it. That's just kind of where I'm at. You know, I've had a lot of bad stuff happen on non-Friday the 13th than I have actually on Friday the 13th. So I don't know. Depends on how you look at it, right? Phil, appreciate you. And by the way, you hear that little slip in there? October 13th was the Packers-Cardinals game. Thanks to you, I will never forget the date of that game. What else we got, Luke? I want to go to a Packers game in Green Bay so bad, but first problem, the holidays. Second problem, how bleeping expensive the flights are. I can only imagine. Even here in the U.S., I was looking to go to the Seahawks game this Sunday night, and flights were pretty expensive. The tickets were pretty expensive. So, yeah, I can imagine what they're like overseas. So, Phil, I'm a preacher's kid, so no. Hey, I'm with you, Phil. I'm with you right there alongside you. I don't believe in that stuff. You know? I don't believe in that stuff. All right, what else we got? Garrett, who goes off on Sunday night? Give me Jaden Reed. At least I hope he does. He had 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 rushes last week against the Lions. I think the coach gets him the ball early and often, and I think that'll kickstart a big game from Jaden. So good spot to end off here. That is going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. But as you know, the content never stops. I'm always posting anything Packers related all day long on the socials at GBP Daily. If you are not already, it would mean a ton if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. That is at GBP Daily as well. I will be back and at it again on Sunday. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And until then, I'll catch you guys later.